So the final part of Attack on Titan is coming out, and you know what? I thought I'd show this series some love. Attack on Titan is incredible, okay? This isn't a hot take, but it's genuinely refreshing to see so many people unanimously appreciate a good story, regardless of whether it's popular or not, okay? There's some people who will just not like this series purely because it's popular, and with all due respect to these types of people,
shut your mouth, mate.
If you've ever wanted to know what an English person looks like when they're going to Wetherspoons after pre-drinks, this is a pretty accurate portrayal. Because this was the reason I got into anime, let me set the scene for you. I'm in secondary school at this time. I've never seen an anime in my life, and a good friend of mine recommends me to watch a little show called Attack on Titan. I'm laughing at this stock footage. For reference, my secondary school looked nothing like this. Think less clean and more girls setting their hair on fire with Bunsen burners. All I knew about this show was that there were some weird looking naked giants, some cool hybrid jetpack things, and some jackets that didn't really fit anyone, but they were a fashion statement nonetheless. So little me watches this series on our family computer, and my mind was absolutely blown. But what I didn't expect was for my mind to still be blown. When you enter season 1 for the first time, there is this underlying feeling of dread. It's also one of the most iconic openings to a series ever done, closely followed by Breaking Bad and Wallace and Gromit, and there's some pretty good reasons for the sheer impact of this introduction. Feel free to subscribe, by the way. I'm trying to hit 1k and it would mean the world. Anyways, enjoy the video. In storytelling, nobody wants unnecessary talking, which is why the first rule of AOT is to keep exposition as visual as possible. Eren Yeager, alongside the rest of what we know of humanity, is trapped. At least metaphorically speaking, okay? There is a front door. But thanks to the massive wall, they do seem to be trapped or hiding from something, and keep in mind, we don't know that anyone else in the world is alive at this point. Not to mention, we are seeing the world through Eren's eyes, childlike eyes, which haven't fully grasped the political state of their home yet. But it does demonstrate this climate through very small scale means. Even by showing Armin getting bullied, it exposes us to the characters we're going to be with for the entirety of the journey. And you'll find this is drip fed to us. Just this little bit of conflict is going to be exponential. Even seeing the scouts return from the outside world as if they were soldiers returning from war, it raises questions. What did they see out there? Why is humanity so incapable of fighting back? Mystery in itself is utilised to its fullest extent, not just for the narrative, but for the genre as a whole. I always relate the effectiveness, the horror aspect of Attack on Titan to the first Alien film. So much fear is derived from our protagonists trying to fight this entity that isn't even known to them, let alone to us as the audience. Except it's not a xenomorph hiding in the ventilation system, it's this thing. The attack on Shigashina is iconic because it sets up the sheer brutality of the series, and it throws the entire world into turmoil. This wall is gassed up to us like the Titanic, and the colossal titan is the iceberg. Eren's mum gets scranned like a McDonald's quarter pounder, so the realization hits everyone. Okay, there is this imminent threat called a colossal titan, which can break down the single thing which keeps us alive as humanity, the wall, alongside potatoes. And so Attack on Titan begins its 10-year journey. Unless it's the manga, which started in 2009. To this day, I still remember the gap we had to wait between season 1 and season 2, and let me tell you, I watched things I regretted watching. The world of Attack on Titan is dark, miserable, and with a low rate of survivability. So it's basically London. Like any great story, the show is like an onion, with layers of theming which you can peel back and be like, oh, that's amazing. The most obvious in the series is this idea of freedom, and how no one can truly ever be free, because the concept comes with conflicting ideals of freedom. At first, this conflict remains in the confines of the wall, through the hierarchy, through its government, even through the higher-ups in the training camp. And then, towards the later seasons, the idea goes full 180, and it becomes what Eren always desired, a revenge story, but not against the Titans, but rather the people who caused these many years of pain and anguish. This is when Eren went edgy mode, and everyone simped over him. including myself. But the change in his character is entirely warranted. Alongside perseverance against adversity, we deal with a lot of really dark ideas, like torture, mass genocide, isolation. I'll always find when a series incorporates very real problems, it will always take it to the next level because it speaks to us. Because we can pick out issues and relate it to our own past and even present society, and this means the story has substance. One of my favourite scenes is in season 2, where Connie sees his mum. The pacing and just general horror elements really makes this a shock, even when we have become so used to these titans up to this point. We've been established that there are people who can turn into titans, the subjects of Ymir. We've established that there are a lot of different types of titan. And yet, this scene is still so horrible. Up to this point, we haven't seen an ordinary titan have humanoid traits, and I know physically they're based on drunk people, which we're familiar with, but emotionally, it gets to the uncanny valley. Somehow it has us empathise with this creature we previously thought to be completely evil. Obviously, in retrospect, now that we're caught up, it all makes sense, it gets pulled together, and that is the key word. Retrospect. We learn with the characters, and this keeps us engaged, which is a complete testament to the writing. The way in which they keep you wanting to know what is in their basement for so many years just shows how well this show is written. Like, it's actually disgusting. That's why everyone was so annoyed during the season gap, because we just wanted to know. That's like giving a treat to a dog and just going, no. A make or break for any series, short or long running, is in the pre-production. And this goes for all mediums. If you fail at the writing stage, the product might have a decent opener, and then just crash land. The nice thing about anime is that we can see the foundation of the show through the manga, and the manga itself, written by Hajime Isayama, is so thorough in its planning and the way it just reveals things to us. J.J. Abrams does this thing called a mystery box in his films, and this is where he sets up a mystery just to keep the audience engaged. Sometimes it works, but other times I just think it's a bit of a lazy way to tell the story. And then you have Attack on Titan, which sure has mystery boxes in a sense, and they signify a checkpoint between seasons, between arcs. The story is taking place right in front of us, and that is how you keep audiences engaged. Not to expect something, but to have it and then get a payoff. And another way to engage an audience is, of course, through the aesthetics. There is a debate as to which studio worked better for the series. You know, you got Wit and Mappa. I personally preferred Wit, but when I saw the first episode of season 4 and Mappa comes through, I just had to welcome it with open arms because that's a lot of pressure. The CGI was, of course, new, but it wasn't executed badly and didn't take me away from the story, so honestly, I just didn't care. This series has moments which are absolutely jaw-dropping. One second the characters are in a wide open field or a forest, swinging all over the place like Spider-Man. Got the Beast Titan throwing shit and... Okay, but actually, you know what? By the way, who chose the voice for the Beast Titan? You look at the character model and you might have a general idea of how it's going to sound. And then they hit you with this.
その武器はなんて言うんですか?
Yeah, where was I? It goes from wide open spaces to cramped streets, and the animation is so slick, it feels so weighty. You can basically feel the momentum when someone's weaving around a city or flying around a titan going for the nape of its neck. I absolutely loved the German European architecture they used in Paradis. It was mostly inspired by these places, which I can't pronounce, which is sad because I'm quarter German, should probably learn. The landscape just works so well. You get stones flying all over the place, you get cracked tiles and ruined rooftops from where everyone's running over them. And then we get the country of Mali, which is of course industrially advanced, and they've had 2,000 years to progress. The contrast between Mali and Paradis is just huge. Mali is filled with affluence, and you have this blatant hierarchy which upscales on the themes we've previously seen in Paradis. And upscales meaning the problem gets bigger and bigger and bigger as the seasons continue, as the characters grow. This show is just cinematic in every way conceivable. Almost every way. I think the defining factor for what makes Attack on Titan so impressive, so engaging and popular to everyone, is its sense of progression. We start in season 1 seeing the world through childlike, innocent eyes until we figure out the context between Eren's relationship with Mikasa. And every season, the characters' mindsets and our mindsets begin to change because there's new information getting provided to us. And this information is always predetermined. It isn't random, it isn't the author trying to just go up on what they previously did. It's there for a necessary reason. At the perfect time. Every time. We understand the perspective of each character, what they desire for their end goal, and what stands in their way. We get why Eren Yeager is the way he is, we get why Mikasa and Levi are the way they are and make the decisions they make. It's visual storytelling at its finest, and I'm so happy I chose this as the first series I watched, and I can't wait for the last season. Anyway, feel free to subscribe, and take care.